Hi, welcome to Lewis Spotlight. I'm Christian Novak. I'm a junior here at Lewis University, a part of the men's soccer team, and my major is sports management and marketing. I was diagnosed with leukemia. It was in the early stages, which was a good thing, but it started off when she was just sick. She was just home-ridden for 2 weeks, and we weren't exactly sure what was going on. But then when we took her to the doctors, they said, we should probably take her to the hospital. So we did. We found out she had leukemia, which wasn't good news, obviously. We knew that this upcoming year and then so on, it'll be a roller coaster ride, definitely. Kept our heads high. And I knew that I had to be there for my younger siblings more than ever, because this is probably going to be the toughest time, I don't know, probably in their lives. So I had to be there for them. Every time I'd go to the hospital and visit her, I didn't show her. I wasn't sad. I couldn't be sad, because if she saw that I was sad and then the kids were sad already, so me adding to that sadness wouldn't really help. So you had to stay optimistic. That's probably the biggest lesson I learned with my mom's sickness, is that you have to be optimistic no matter what. At that point, me and my dad became really close, I think, because both me and him understood each other, what we were all going through. I'm the oldest of 4, obviously, so I had to be there for them, like I said. And not only that, since we wanted our mom to go through with this and come out stronger than she was before, which she luckily is now, and thankfully, we had to be optimistic. Nothing but smiles, hugging her, be there for her every day or whenever I could. Yeah, it was definitely a milestone in my life and my family's. But one thing I did find out is that no matter how much you could hate your siblings, sometimes you could yell at them, argue with them, or even with your family, with your parents. When in times of trouble like that, we always come together and we come out stronger.
Hi, I'm Lisa Carlson, head women's basketball coach at Lewis University, and this is Lewis Spotlight. When you talk about the basketball team being one family and my family being another, and I love them equally. Sometimes, you have to be in the present. You have to be there for whatever family you're a part of at that time. I think if you treat coaching specifically just like a job, it's hard to excel, because you're working with young people who look to you to guide them in a lot of different facets of their life. The combination of the two, I like to incorporate both as much as I can. If there's times that my family can be a part of the basketball family, I think that makes it easier. You feel like you're not missing out sometimes. But there's times where you have to be present for that group at that time during key moments. The thing about managing the two is I think you have to be passionate about both, and you have to really, really want to be good at both. Very early in my career, I had somebody tell me that that was impossible, that it wasn't something that you could do. You couldn't be a really good mom and be a really good coach, because you couldn't manage both. It was too much. And I still remember that to this day, that challenge of proving them wrong. And again, I mentioned that incorporating the two is important, but there's certain times a year where you have to be okay with putting your heart and soul into one or the other. It's October and it's time to start the basketball season, and from October to March, basketball is a huge part of what we do. My family is very understanding of that. But there's also key moments for my kids that I know I need to be there for them and be present with them. And I think that they have been through it long enough and have a great understanding of that. And I do have times where I think they've been a huge part of what we do at Lewis on the court, supportive of what we do as a team. So I think that blend is important as well.
Hi, welcome to Lewis Spotlight. I'm Dr. Jackie White from the English department, and I'm here today to talk to you about some life lessons. So I taught in Japan for a year and a half, or through the summer, so I usually count it as 2 years. And this is what I think is so important about creating good relationships, building good relationships while you're in school, which is a major kind of life lesson that I'm really stressing with students, is because the way I got to go to Japan was because someone from Eureka had been asked to start a liberal arts school in Tokyo. And so Japanese nationals would go to this school, they would learn in English, they would read in English, they would have like a liberal arts college experience freshman, sophomore year, and then transfer to different schools in the United States with whom we had agreements. So that was Phil. And so Phil got this appointment and he called the English department at Eureka and said, you know, are there any recent graduates with master's degrees that you would recommend, you know, to come here and teach in our English department? And 3 professors gave my name. So he called me. And this was really important because I had finished my master's degree. I had been working for a chiropractor and I loved working for him, and I continually, you know, got to do new things. So pretty soon I was not just the receptionist, I was doing exams, I was taking the x-rays and developing the x-rays and marking the x-rays. And so Dr. Strel said, you know, really, you should think about becoming a chiropractor. And I said, no, I want to become, you know, I want to teach English. English is my passion. Literature, language, these are my passions. And the phone rings. And it's Phil saying, hi, you know, I'm Phil Palin. I want to hire you to, you know, would you be interested in teaching in Tokyo? And I said, Tokyo, Japan? Because, you know, there's Paris, Illinois, there's, I don't know, Frankfurt, Illinois, so London, Iowa, whatever. And he said, yes, Tokyo, Japan. And this was in the this was in the early 90s, well, late 80s, early 90s, and the yen was like hugely strong against the dollar, and to live in Japan was so prohibitively expensive. So my second question was, who's paying for my housing? And he said, no, we'll pay for your housing, we'll give you an apartment, we'll take care of utilities, you teach, you get your salary, that's it. You know, feed yourself, clothe yourself, but pretty much everything else is done. So I said, sure.